Welcome back, everyone, to another About Teams video today. And in today's episode, we're going to be recapping the May 7th games that happened yesterday in the NBA. There was two games, one with the Boston Celtics, our home state, still not a fan on my side, and the Cleveland Cavaliers played. And then we had the Dallas Mavericks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. In this one, I mean, obviously with Boston, no Kristaps Porzingis, but on the Cavaliers side, Jared Allen has been missing. And from the parts of the game I watched, the Cavaliers were just clearly missing that rim defense. Celtics could kind of drive at will to the rim. Evan Mobley wasn't able to really do much protecting the rim, even though he's a great defender. And like I predicted, I think in the previews, this was going to have to be a Jaylen Brown step-up series because Evan Mobley, Jason Tatum, it's just not a good matchup for Tatum, or if they throw Isaac Okoro at him. Tatum struggled again yesterday, despite the huge win. But Jaylen Brown, Derek White, they've all kind of stepped up around him. And it was kind of it was close for a while, but the Celtics were playing at such a higher pace, and that's just not how Cleveland is on offense. They're a defensive first team. Donovan Mitchell is going to do his thing, 33 points, was hitting some shots early. But it's going to come down to the secondary scoring. Darius Garland, who's kind of had a not so great playoff run so far. Evan Mobley, or the players around him, Max Strus, going to be able to hit shots consistently. And it kind of proved last night that, I know it's only one game, but I just don't think they will against the Celtics defense. So it's going to be tough for Cleveland to come back in the series. I think maybe they can get one or two games, but if Jared Allen can't play on defense, maybe, I don't know. Even without Kristaps, I think this is kind of a cakewalk for the Celtics.
Yeah. What I was seeing was, like you said, Donovan Mitchell's he's just going to do his thing. But even when he was, they were making him work so hard for every single basket he made. And then the Celtics would just run the floor on him because he'd be so tired. So
it takes a toll.
They scoring at will, really.
Yeah, and I've been a somewhat critical Tatum guy in the playoffs. I don't really care what he does until we get maybe to the Eastern Conference Finals because the Celtics are going to make it there. They're going to the Miami Heat. It doesn't matter what he does in the first two rounds. I kind of care more what he does in the finals, what he does in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's because that's kind of where he struggled.
Yeah, when the lights get brightest, he's got to show up. Because I'm okay with him right now not being the guy. I'm perfectly fine with, Derek White putting up 25 a game like he has been, or Jaylen Brown stepping up. And I think he's starting to realize that too, because you just said Evan Mobley is a perfect matchup against him. So he's not going to be able to do what he usually does. So I hope he's kind of recognizing that and letting his teammates do the work for him. Because you can't play selfish basketball and say, I want to be the guy who's doing it all. I want to be the guy who's winning. Because then stuff's going to happen like the past however many years where we just choke in the big games because he doesn't show up and isn't giving other people the opportunities to show up.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just gonna, I'm like I said, we're gonna leave the thoughts, but if they play the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, for example, we're gonna see, Jalen Brunson. There's gonna be probably at least one or two games, no matter how good the Celtics defense is, that he goes for 40. Yeah. Will Jason Tatum be able to match that, or whoever comes out of the West, whether that's Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, Dallas. You're going to need to be able to match the offensive output of those players, and eventually they're going to need Tatum to step up. And if he answers that call then no one will care that, he had a 7 for 19 shooting game against the Cleveland Cavaliers in game one. No one's going to talk about it. But it's just saying to watch out because he hasn't gotten into a rhythm yet. But we'll see. Because even if he has 50 the next game, I don't care. I just care about when it matters.
Right, do it. Do it in an elimination game. Do it, when you need to step up. He did it last year against the Sixers, but then after that, didn't really show.
Yeah, so it's all going to come down to like you said, when the lights matter the most and they need him. Maybe Jaylen Brown struggling this game, or they're taking away the Derek White. They're making Tatum beat you. Can he be able to do it? And that'll be something interesting to watch out because the Knicks, for example, next round can be scrappy. So that'd be fun.
It's big it's big to get this series out of the way too, because as a Celtics, you want to give Kristaps as much time as you can to recover, because I was seeing reports that he's likely not going this series. So
yeah, I don't think he will be.
And I don't want them to push it with him at all, because if you do move on, then you need him as healthy as he can be.
Yeah, no, it is going to be crucial. And I'm curious though, if Jared Allen does come back, he's missed the last 3 games, or I believe 3 games or 4 games even, because he missed the second half of the Orlando series. How does Cleveland's defense look if they have that rim defense there and Evan Mobley's on Tatum? I think it could be a little bit Cleveland. That's how I think Cleveland could win 1 or 2 games, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Will be exciting to watch as Celtics are looking to hang banner 18 up this year. I don't think it'll happen, but that's for another day. Moving on, second game, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when I was watching this, it was the score does say, Oklahoma City 22-point win, but it was kind of much closer for a while through 3 quarters, still like a single digit game, or if it was like maybe 10 exactly at the end of the third. But just Luka Doncic hasn't been the same playoff self, and he obviously is dealing with some sort of injury throughout the playoffs right now. And it's taken a toll on the 3-point shooting, at least, because what he was able to do later in that Clippers series, just driving to the rim, not forcing any shots. Unfortunately, LA didn't have the offense without Kawhi Leonard to be able to, keep producing and make them pay for that. But Oklahoma City does. And Oklahoma City is just such a deep team, man. I mean, you go to the bench, you have Case and Wallace, Isaiah Joe, just the other Jalen Williams coming off the bench. They just got a whole lot of players. I still don't know how Josh Giddey's starting.
I was just going to say your Josh Giddey points standing pretty true with total of 2 points.
Yeah, no, and he was the only one that had a minus on the team, plus minus. And I know that isn't everything, but I saw him take 1 3.
It says something.
I saw him take 1 3-pointer from the side and somehow hit the backboard and not even hit rim. So it was really weird. That dude sucks. But besides him, Dallas has to take advantage of those Josh Giddey minutes whenever he is in. But Dallas, they kind of struggled or Kyrie struggled early, making shots and just getting up shots and kind of turning the ball over. He eventually settled down. But this is just going to come down to, I think it's going to be a good series still. I mean, SGA is going to do his thing. Jalen Williams finally got going late in the fourth, which kind of helped pull them away, because the defense for Dallas through 3 quarters wasn't bad at all. They were in there, but the offense kind of faded down the stretch. So it's just going to be interesting how they respond. You just got to – I don't know why they played Tim Hardaway in the fourth quarter. He obviously – he was in the 6-man of the year race in February, and he fell off a cliff. If he can't make shots, there's no reason to have him on the court. I'm still a believer. I saw a stat. Dallas has lost the last 5 game ones. Game 1, it's kind of it's not everything. He's got to get used to the series.
Get your feet wet, type of thing. Get your feet wet. Get used to kind of see what they're throwing at you.
Yeah, and they're still coming off. Oklahoma City was well rested. Swept the New Orleans Pelicans. Dallas, had a tough series against LA. It was a good series, though. I think game 2, I'm expecting to be much closer. But if I'm not, then maybe there is trouble for concern that Oklahoma City was just the better team all along. And that their youth doesn't matter in the playoffs, I guess, right now. Because they're playing seasoned veterans out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Besides Giddey.
Yeah, I didn't catch a whole lot of the Dallas game. I was watching the hockey games, but I was kind of scoreboard watching, And I mean, all of Oklahoma City's other than Josh Giddey, like we keep saying, or like you keep saying. I'll give you credit for that one. All their stars are showing up on the scoreboard. And, I mean, if Luka's injuries nagging him as much as it seems it is, at least in the box score, 6 for 19 isn't ever a Luka stat when he's healthy. So if it's nagging him as much as it is, I don't know if I can see this series going 6. Just because.
Yeah, no, if it is. I mean, but he was able to play through it. I just don't like the settling for 3-point jump shots, because I don't know what his 3-point percentage is in the playoffs, but it hasn't been good. But he's been able to drive later in the series on Dallas. Just get to the mid-range, get closer shots. He can hit those. That's what they're going to need to do if they want to have any shot winning the series, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just looked it up. What his 3-point percentage shooting in the playoffs is 22%.
Yeah,
so,
no, it's been awful. Even in the games where he has like 28 points, like he's shooting like 2 of 9, 1 for 10.
I mean, his field goal percentage is 39%, which is never what he does.
Yeah, no, and typically we see him rise to the playoffs. That Kyrie, for the most part, has been really good, so that's kind of canceled out. Obviously, missing that shooting and defense of Maxi Kleber will be tough for the Mavericks this series. But we'll see. I'm not gonna, it's a good win for Oklahoma City, but we'll see how Game 2 looks, and if it's another one of these games, maybe it's Oklahoma City in 4. But I'll trust Dallas. I'll give them a pass here. Like I said, Game 1 hasn't really been favorable to them recently, and they've found ways to win series.
Maybe they go out and win by 20, tomorrow, and
that'd be nice.
Series.
Got to reassure my prediction, but so that was I believe the only 2 games that happened yesterday, and then tonight we have this.
You're a big Dallas guy. You're picking Dallas in NHL. You're looking at Dallas here.
Yeah, we'll talk about the NHL because I'm a little ticked off in the separate show. But so tonight, just a quick preview. We got Pacers next game too. Should be an exciting one, although I think we had 2 different kind of outlooks on the Game 1 loss. I think it's going to be kind of more demoralizing in Indiana because I feel like that's one they had to have, and they let it get away, whether it was them or the refs let it get away, actually. And then you think, if Indiana has that confidence, we can hang with this team. Let's go out there and do it again next game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yep. I'm giving my prediction. I'm saying the Pacers are winning tonight. I'm going to say the Pacers.
I think it's New York by 10 plus at least. But
okay. We'll come back.
We'll see. We'll see who's right. See who has more knowledge. But unless there's anything you want to add to these recaps of the last 2 games.
No. I mean, it's tough to recap, kind of blowouts on the scoreboard. It's kind of just like a one-sided game the whole time. I mean, like you said, the Mavericks game, the Mavericks Thunder game was closer than it seemed on the scoreboard. But still, I mean, the Celtics game, from what I watched, it never really seemed in the Cavaliers' reach. Like the Celtics were always 1 or 2 steps ahead of whatever.
Yeah, even the end of the first quarter was like a 6-point game, but it was 40-34, and that's not Cleveland-style basketball. They're defense first and then offense. But if they want to be offense first, Darius Garland, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, you got to start hitting some shots. Can't be just Donovan Mitchell scoring 50 points out of 90 against the Magic and hoping you win because it's a different beast. But all right, with that being said, I'll wrap up today's episode on our NBA recaps, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.